Thursday Night Football. The Denver Broncos are on the road in New Orleans to take on the Saints. My best bets are on the way in this massive game. Now, I'm going to be honest, this is not the sexiest matchup on paper. And if you're watching this video, one of three things is probably true. Number one, you're a diehard Broncos fan. Number two, you're a diehard Saints fan. Number three, you're probably a degenerate gambler. And here you are. And I fall into that number three category, and I'm happy to be here, and I'm glad you guys are here with me. We have some picks I'll talk about in this game in just one moment. But first, as always, we recap how we did the previous day or the previous week in this instance. And week 6 wasn't too bad for us. I mean, we made money on every single slate. Thursday Night Football, Sundays, a full slate, and then Monday Night Football. Pretty good. 9-7 overall. Of the 7 losses, 2 of them were half-unit plays. So really on paper, like a 9-6 week, almost up nearly 3 units. We'll certainly take that up a little over 11 units on the season. We still got more work to do. Hopefully week 7 is kind to us, and hopefully it starts with a pretty good Thursday Night Football, and then we'll carry that over into Sunday's slate of action. If you are new, my name is Austin from Calling Our Shot. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Finally, we are back in our normal home, and it kind of reminds me that I need to hang up some stuff in the background. So this weekend, in lieu of the NBA season starting soon on Tuesday, I'll get some stuff up in the background, and we'll get amped up and get ready to go. Now let's dive into things for this video for the Saints-Broncos game. There's a free square right now for Bo Nix. Love him or hate him, but Bo Nix, he needs to get 1 yard to cash this free square. Yeah, it's pretty free. So, of course, the only way you get that is so if you're a new user that signs up using our code COS or the link down below. If you do that, you'll get that Bo Nix free square, and they'll match your first deposit 50% up to $1,000. Pretty cool offer. Take advantage. I don't have an Underdog fantasy entry in this video. I have plenty of them on Sunday. Now, let's dive into the picks here. I got to put some spoiler out there. I'm not going to do day 2 of the ladder challenge. As you guys know, we track the ladder as a 1-unit play. Not anything I love in this game, and people kind of act like the ladder challenge like a 100-unit play when it's really just the 1-unit play plus $10. So I don't need to put that pressure on me to cook up something in this game. It's kind of nasty. So instead, we'll stick with these straight bets and hopefully make some money, and then we'll escape and go to day 2 for Sundays. But let's dive into the first pick, and I actually have 2 picks on this same player. His name is Troy Franklin of the Denver Broncos, over 18.5 receiving yards, minus 110 on Bet365. I like this up to 20.5, 21.5. I'm only playing this for a half unit. If you don't know what units are, it's a standard bankroll management term. Typically, a unit is about 1, maybe 2% of your bankroll. For me, it's 1%. So whatever bankroll is, 1% of that is 1 unit. A half unit plays a 0.5%. So obviously not a huge play here for Troy Franklin, who is a Denver Broncos wide receiver. We're taking his over 18.5 receiving yards. I have another half unit play on him. I'll talk about that in just a half second, and not a half. You get what I mean. I'll talk about him in a second, what the other play is for him. Now, if you have no idea who Troy Franklin is, I don't really blame you, as he's a rookie 4th-round pick for the Denver Broncos. Now, the Broncos aren't dealing with as many injuries as the Saints are, but they are dealing with an injury to one of their number 2 wide receivers, I'd argue. That's Josh Reynolds, and he is out. So the guy that typically slides into that spot is going to be Troy Franklin, and he played a lot of snaps last week, and I think he's going to continue to play a lot of snaps going forward, as Sean Payton has kind of alluded to wanting to do more of a youth movement type thing. Franklin, a rookie, he fits into that class. Now, Franklin's snap percentages here, he was inactive week 1, 0%, then 20, 25, 31, 11, and then 65% of snaps. As I said, Josh Reynolds, their wide receiver 2, got injured at the end of week 5, which is why Franklin saw a big uptick in his snaps up to 65%. And so we love to see that. Reynolds, again, is going to be out here. It's basically Cortland Sutton, who's probably going to be shadowed by Marshawn Lattimore, their best cornerback for the Saints. And then Devon Veely, I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's kind of that Wan'Dale Robinson slot type of guy. Franklin's going to be out there a lot. Now, last week, Franklin delivered and cashed this over. He had 2 receptions for 31 yards. He had a long reception of 29 yards. More on that in a second. He also had a touchdown. And most importantly, he ran a route on 77% of Bo Nix's dropbacks. So Bo Nix dropping back to pass, Franklin's mostly out there, and he's going to be involved in pretty much every single 2 wide receiver set, and definitely 3 wide receiver set. He should be in there. Now, why do we like Troy Franklin, and why the heck is this guy coming out of the blue? Well, I like him for this over because this is a guy that goes deep. His average depth of target, 14.1 yards downfield. This season, he only had 15 targets to his name. 6 of them are categorized as deep target. So this guy go down the field. We might not need more than one reception here, and he could easily cash this over. So I really like Troy Franklin. So I like his over in receiving yards for half a unit at 18.5. My second play on him is also a half unit play, and that's his over 12.5 yards for his longest reception at minus 120 on FanDuel. I take it at 13.5 as well. I just talked about Troy Franklin. He's a deep guy. I don't anticipate him getting 6 catches tonight. If he gets 6 catches, he sure as heck is going over both of these lines, I would guess. This is the guy going deep down the field, and we saw the same kind of thing with Josh Reynolds. He was kind of running those deep routes either through the middle or deep kind of things, that seam routes on the middle of the field. It's kind of what Troy Franklin's going to run. So I really like this spot. Franklin. He's the guy that's going to come out of the blue. A lot of people might not know of him, but I think they'll know of him maybe a little bit more when he's running a lot of routes on Thursday Night Football. And my last note for him, Franklin, sure, he's out of the blue. He's a guy in the 40-yard, in the combine, 6'2", 4'4", 40, so pretty fast. And where did he go to college? Oregon, exactly where Bo Nix went. Obviously, I feel like they kind of drafted him knowing Bo Nix would be a starter for them eventually. And Bo Nix and him, they played their 2 years together there. He went obviously to Oregon for 3 years, Franklin that is. And in his last year at Oregon, 17.1 yards per catch, over 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns. This is obviously a guy that Bo Nix trusts, especially in the red zone. And could we see Bo Nix, who's been making a lot of plays with his legs, could he make some plays with his legs? And instead of scrambling up the field, he's looking to make a throw down the field. I feel like one of the guys with the best connection is Troy Franklin, the guy he's already played 2 years with. So I really like the spot for Troy Franklin. Again, I have 2 plays on him, just a half unit. So a total of 1 unit risk. Troy Franklin's over in receiving yards and his over on longest reception. Hopefully they cash both 1 and 1, and we do 1 cash for 20 plus yards, and we can call it a day and go 2-0 on his props, 1 unit 1 for us. So I really like Troy Franklin. I know he's a weird guy, but I think he plays a lot of snaps on Thursday night. I think he has a pretty decent game. We only need 1. Honestly, we could only just get 1 reception for 25 yards and they call it a day, but his over 1.5 receptions is minus 220, 2.5 is like plus money. So I like that. My third play, we've been talking all about Oregon, Bo Nix, Oregon, Troy Franklin, Oregon, this and that. Let's go to another guy that went to Oregon only for 1 year. Juwan Johnson, give me his over 26.5 receiving yards, minus 110 on Bet365. Again, I'm only sticking to a half unit play. If I'm being honest and you're watching this video, I was this close to pulling the trigger on Juwan Johnson to record a touchdown. That's plus 490 on Caesar. So great value. If you're looking for a dart throw, you're like, Austin, I gotta be honest, I want to throw a half unit on a minus 110 bet. Go crazy and take him for a touchdown. In his last 2 Thursday night games, Juwan Johnson has 2 and 1 touchdown. So, hey, take him for 2. Maybe he goes absolutely berserk. It's a dart throw, but I do like Juwan to get into the end zone. Now, why the heck am I backing Juwan Johnson? He went to Penn State for 3 years before transferring to Oregon for his final year. That's kind of hit near here nor there. Juwan Johnson played 77% of snaps last week, 79% the week before, both his 2 highest on the season. He went over this line in both games with 31 and 48 receiving yards. Obviously, we've seen tight ends expose this Denver Broncos secondary before. We backed Brock Bowers 2 weeks ago. Didn't back any of the Chargers tight ends last week because they don't really target those guys. They saw decent games, but we've seen other guys like Pat Freiermuth, K. Dotton go over this line. They haven't faced a ton of elite tight ends. I'm not saying Juwan Johnson is elite as it gets, but he's out there a ton and he's running a lot of routes. Obviously, the Saints, if you don't know, now you know they're down a lot of guys. Chris Olave, he's out with a concussion. Rashid Shaheed, I believe, has some sort of torn meniscus type surgery. He's going to be out for a few weeks. While you could target guys like Bub Means or Mason Tipton, who? Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think we're going to see some more heavy personnel. Taysom Hill might play in this game, and maybe he takes some snaps at tight end, but I think he takes more running back touches, if anything. Maybe they use him in some sort of crazy personnel. Spencer Rattler gets out of there, and they just start throwing Taysom Hill around. I don't know. That could be wild. But either way, I think that you'll see Spencer Rattler out there in a lot of heavy personnel. You'll see Foster Moreau, Juwan Johnson out there. A lot more bigger personnel match up and get some matchup mismatches. And I think we can see Juwan Johnson, who already had a decent week with Spencer Rattler last week, again, have another decent week here. The Denver Broncos secondary is down their best player and Pat Surtain II, but I still think that you'll see some opportunities where they're still going to have very good secondary outside of him. They're going to play a lot of 2 high safeties, so you'll see other guys probably not at the greatest of games. And I think that you'll see maybe Juwan Johnson, a guy running some seam routes, get open. Spencer Rattler throwing it to him. He's a 6'4" guy, so pretty good big guy. You can't miss him. So I think we'll see Juwan Johnson have a chance. I like him to maybe get into the end zone at plus 490. It's a dart throw, but hey, take a shot on it. Now we finally need to talk about who I think wins or covers in this game. And I got to be honest, this game is nasty. I would not make an official pick. I don't want to put any of my money on who wins or covers in this game. I lean the Broncos -2.5. Now on the screen, you'll also see Logan leads the Saints on the money line. Logan, if you don't know who he is, well, stay tuned on Friday when we'll be posting our video where we go through every single game. Typically, that's posted on Wednesdays, but I've been without power for 7 days, so we couldn't record together. So we'll record that probably Thursday late at night and post it early Friday morning. So you want to hear Logan and I's thoughts on every single game. I think I'm up. I have 10 more wins than losses this season. Logan's about the same. So definitely tap into that if you want to hear our thoughts on every single game. He leans Saints. I lean Broncos. I have about a 3 out of 10 confidence meter. This is not a game that I'm personally tying up my money on a spread or total either way. It's a nasty one. I hope it's a good game and our props cash, but not really a spread I have a ton of confidence on. So let me know if you guys like anything down below, who you think wins and covers in this game. Just kind of my thoughts. I like Broncos, but Logan likes the Saints. So really, we're literally split even. So take that with a grain of salt. But officially, my official picks in this game, all half units. Juwan Johnson over in receiving yards, Troy Franklin over in receiving yards, and Troy Franklin over in longest reception. Those are my 3 picks. No ladder challenge for this fit game. I don't want to lose here and get absolutely attacked because I put some bum in there that had no business getting 2 receptions or 25 yards. I don't want to risk a full unit on a single person. Technically, we got that on Troy Franklin, but he's coming through. That's why. But those are my favorite picks. As always, appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'll have more for Sunday slate of action. If you want to get all my picks early, join the Dub Club. I think there should be a free trial link down below. Either way, it's less than $6 a month. Either way, I'll have some picks obviously posted before my Saturday's edition of videos goes live. So you get all the picks early, and sometimes those lines change a lot. That's going to be pretty important with NBA right around the corner on Tuesday. So again, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Happy to be back in my normal home with electricity, AC, and all that stuff. I'm happy to hopefully have another profitable week with you all for NFL Week 7. Go Juwan Johnson. Go Troy Franklin. I'll see you guys again with the future videos. See you then. Also, I'll link right here my NBA best bets video. I know if you're only an NFL person, I encourage you to go tap into that. Bunch of NBA futures. All of them very good money. So you're talking about +200, +400, +1,600. Some long shots to kind of sit in your bankroll. Hopefully build that bankroll in a few months. Tap into it. See you guys in the next one. Peace.